You're listening to the audio portion of Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is a free live discussion about topics affecting accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners. You can join the ABO group in Facebook to participate live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Just search for ABBO in Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you will learn, grow, and build a thriving bookkeeping practice. We have hundreds of lessons with almost every aspect of the industry. Start your free month today at Schoolofbookkeeping.com.
So welcome to another Workshop Wednesday. This is a follow-up workshop from what we did a couple weeks ago on how to price cleanup work, because what we're going to be doing is talking with Chris and Alison from Liscio to talk about ways to streamline how that process could actually look. Because, as the name implies, cleanup work is a little messy. not just what you're in for with regards to getting into the data file and getting in, rolling up your sleeves and getting into the grunt work, but actually compiling the information so that you can actually do that work. And that's what Liscio can help you do. So Chris is the founder, CEO. What is your official?
Sure, both. There you go. Oh. Co-founder, CEO. Yeah.
Check.
And Alison used to work at Intuit, but now
I did. Yeah.
What do you do with Liscio now?
I'm the director of marketing and influencer strategy. So I get to do all sorts of fun things, mainly in just understanding deeply what the customer challenges are, and then helping to create content and connect experts with the people who need that content.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Chris, actually, before we dive into how you can actually do some of this work in Liscio, what is Liscio? Because when I didn't know what Liscio was, not even from a T-shirt perspective.
It's hard to tell the story on a T-shirt in kind of a silk screen, but what we do, Dan, is we help accountants. We're specifically in the accounting profession, right? So I'm an accountant. The problem we solve is we help firms and professionals work much better, much more seamlessly with their clients. So if you think about how much of our business has moved away from first paper and then perhaps a lot of in-person meetings and so forth to being largely online, how great can we make that online experience at every touch point?
That's fantastic. So what would you say, like when I look at an app, I always try to, compare it to something, like, would you say that Liscio is in a class by itself? I'm sure you would, but I mean, what would you say in what space is your solution?
I would say, if you think about what we're doing online in our personal financial lives, not necessarily with our accountant, but what we're doing with online banks or how we're managing our stock portfolio or anything like that. We're doing that in delightful ways that are amazingly secure, right? We never worry about logging into Bank of America or using Bank of America's mobile app or Schwab's mobile app, whatever it is we're using, right? We're getting these wonderful all-in-one experiences that are delightful, super easy to use, and are certainly changing how we think about how we want to interface with people and professionals online. And so if we think about that, then the millions of dollars that have been spent every year by banks and so forth on their online experiences, what if we could have the same thing for very few dollars a month for firms in the accounting profession of any size, right? That's really the model. That's the pattern. And we think that very clearly, if you look at how consumers are consuming or interacting with various providers, it's very, very clear that there is a better way for people to work. We don't necessarily want to go to the bank as much. We don't want to have to go down there to deposit a check or anything like that. We just want to pull out our phone, snap a quick photo of the check, and we're done, right? So we think those experiences are pervasive. They're very valuable, and they're something that we want to make sure that firms of any size and any budget can offer.
Yeah, and just to break so in addition to what Chris said, I think about it in terms of like, how does that translate to what the accountant and their client actually do? And so Chris and his team have created this amazing experience. So it is an amazing experience, and it's all just contained in the palm of your hand for the client essentially, and for the accountant if they want to go mobile, but they also have a desktop version. But if you think about about the interactions that you have with your clients, you're either asking them a question or they're asking you a question. So it's like ask and answer, or you're sending them a document that they need to review and maybe sign, or they're sending you a document, right? And as I said, there's e-signature in the middle there. So those are the interactions. Everything else you're going to do for your client, you're probably going to do by your voice, right? You're either going to talk to them or you're going to have a meeting with them. And so what Lisio does is take all the friction out between ask and answer, send and receive documents, and e-sign. And then there's task tracking, and there you can have a client task list, and there's staff tracking. And Chris is going to show you some of the things that make the whole experience just really delightful for the staff and for the clients. But if you think of it in terms of what are you, the accountant, going to be asking or answering to your client, that's where Lisio really just wows people. And people just don't realize that they're having a problem with their current methods until they see this new way.
Yeah, when you were showing it to us before, what the phrase that kept coming into my mind was yes and, right? Like, oh, it does this, yes, and it does this, and yes, and it does that, and the thing I think that Carrie would feel so strongly about is that yes, and it works with QuickBooks Online and desktop and anything else, right? So it's product agnostic, right? So this solution can work with tax professionals, bookkeepers, accountants, almost anything, as long as you have a way to, put it to a PDF, right?
Exactly right. I think that's exactly what people, if we think about where people get lost in the journey, it's because there are too many pieces that we're asking clients to juggle. And how do you keep somebody organized if they have to log into a whole bunch of different systems? I think in our view, we're all very busy. Name somebody who isn't very busy and has plenty of time to really think about where everything is, right, and really get organized. If you think about one thing, if you can do one thing with the client, which is get him into a single healthful habit, if you can do that, then you win, right? And so banks have done that. If I think about Bank of America or Chase, whatever I'm using, I know exactly where to go. I go to the app or I log into the webpage, I do everything there, and I get out. They're not sending us to 3 and 4 different websites. If they did that, we wouldn't get anything done. And so as we've been working with professionals for several years, what we noticed is we're asking our clients to go too many places. So you can't make it a this, then that, then this. It has to be an and. It has to be, really, combined and distilled down to that single habit. So that's what we're here to do. It's something we're very, very passionate about. We think there's tons and tons more we can do with this notion. But it really starts with the client first, and then you work backward to solve all the other problems.
Right. Now, Carrie, you've been just talking your ear off here. I'm going to have to mute you soon if you don't stay quiet. What are your thoughts?
Well, I just think this is going to, Dan and I always are talking to prospects and clients, and we're talking about how to make QuickBooks work for you the best way with all these add-ons and trying to make it in one place. So it just, my mind is just like going 1,000 miles an hour on all the different things that we ask our partners to do just to get onboarded and start to sell QuickBooks products. And I mean, we use PandaDocs and we use Insightly for our CRM and we use email. I mean, we use Zoom for meetings and we have notes on GoodNotes, and we're just, we can't wait to get ours. I just feel like we have like a wild west of apps that we're asking the clients to do. And I'm looking forward to getting mine under control because I feel like we're running crazy.
So Chris, if you could just share your screen here and just kind of take us through some of the things, like with the cleanup work of like
Yeah.
kind of a workflow there, how can Liscio speed up the process, or what can it actually how can it assist in that process?
I know you all, and I know all of your audience are experts, right? You all know this stuff down to a very fine point. So I love what you brought to us today, which is let's go through a cleanup example. And what I'd like to do is spend just a few minutes. We can get through this in 10 or 15 minutes and show you all of the ands. And I'm hopeful at each touch point, you can see how this makes things more transparent, easier for both sides. Because fundamentally, if it's easy for your client, you'll get things faster. You'll be more on time. You'll be less distracted, right? And that's the big point here. So what I'd like to do is just kind of add on briefly with a couple of quick little slides, and then I'll get you right into product, really. So again, we are about client experience. We don't change your back office. We don't change your back office, right? A lot of the tools you're using, QuickBooks, et cetera, you can keep on using those. We're changing the interface with how you work with your clients. So we spent a little bit of time kind of touching on this before, but if we think about client experience today and what's happening out in the real world, right, with regard to financial apps, this is Bank of America, again, all in one. If you think about how you get the news today, well, you can get the news delivered, get the paper delivered to your doorstep if you want, or you get it streamed to your phone. New York Times, they make more money on the streaming side now than they do on paper delivery, right? And guess what? The paper never gets stolen off the porch if it's going right to your phone, right? So it's more secure. It's anywhere you are, with you everywhere, right? And this one's crazy. Out there, anybody listening, if you have clients who are texting you, raise your hand, right?
Well, I don't want them to, but yes.
Exactly. How do you say no? They put you in a really tough bind.
Well, I mean, my personal.
Yeah, Carrie, we're really good friends, aren't we? Why don't you give me your cell phone so I can text you just in case? How do you say no to that? I think that's hard. That's hard to do. And it's getting harder because you have other firms out there. Home Depot, the far right example here, right? Home Depot allows you to text. So what do we do with that?
We need to answer it so we don't lose the sale for sure.
There you go.
We don't want dinner interrupted.
And then, next thing you know, Sunday brunch, right? You're getting the client texts. So we know that these are the patterns and these are the formulas that are working for really successful businesses. And so if we think about that within a context of how many firms are engaging with their clients today, it's a little bit different, right? We make it more challenging. We send a lot of email. And then if you can't necessarily, well, we know we can't send large files via email. So now we add a document solution. And then we also know maybe we need to get something for electronic signature. We had an electronic signature solution. Then we realize our personal phones are blowing up. So we add a VoIP text solution. Then we have confidential information going back and forth. What do we do for that? Maybe we work on email encryption. It just becomes a lot. And so if we do that and we have a whole bunch of different patterns we're asking clients to memorize, go here for this, go there for that, et cetera, they get lost. If they get lost, we get questions over and over. So some of these questions might look familiar to those of you in the audience.
I love that one in the middle. Can I text you my social?
Yeah, that sounds really secure.
Super secure.
People just love they hate giving out that information, but they freely give it to that trusted advisor.
Yeah.
And who's responsible? Are you responsible for that, or are they? If something if their information gets compromised, even if they're doing it, who are they? Are they pointing the finger at themselves, or who knows, right?
That keeps me up at night, seriously. So I like.
Yeah. So this is stuff. If we can get clients into a healthful habit, we're good, right? And so what do we know about that? Well, to use Alison's words, we have to make it easy, right? Easy is the key. So what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to show you our take on easy, which is let's get it all down to a simple experience, mobile and web, make it dead simple. And if we do that, we're in good shape. So for the cleanup project, what I'd like to do is go end to end on cleanup and client interaction for you. And I think I can do this very quickly. But send me your QuickBooks backup file. That's a large file, right? Can't necessarily do an email, and certainly wouldn't want to do an email for security reasons. Let's get an engagement letter in place. I want to get paid. We want to get paid. Let's get your bank account information so I can charge you. I'll do a bank account plus I'll do an ACH authorization form all in one. And I might need your passwords for your banks because I want to log in and download your bank statements so I can do the cleanup. And then I might need some other documents. I might need to remind the client along the way of things that are due. And then when we're done, we're going to send you the secure financials for your review. How does that sound?
That is end to end, like complete. Like,
let's do it. Let's do it. I think we can do this pretty quickly.
Right.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change screens on us here. I'm going to go ahead and move us to the product side. So you're going to see my desktop here. There we go. All right. This is Liscio. This is Liscio as a firm. So I have a dashboard, and on the dashboard, we have a message section. Messages work just like email. Okay. There's some slight differences. I'll show you what those are. But in general, it's very, very simple to send things back and forth in the inbox concept. We also have a task area. This is important because people, if you send an email, we're actually asking our client more or less to manage their tasks on their side, and email becomes a to-do list. Mm-hmm. No deadlines, did I get you that? Did I receive it? Very different. So we want to have tasks that are very specific. So in this case, I want to create a task. Because we want to get that send me your QBB file task out there, right? So request information, and I'm going to request it for City Lights Cleanup. I have an account specifically for that. That's going to keep all of our information going back and forth, nicely compartmentalized. Mm-hmm. And Christine Client is the person we're working with there. We can put a due date on here. Please send QBB file today. I'll send her a quick message. We can attach things here. I can change the due date. I can make things recurring. There's a lot of things we can do. But in general, we can create a very specific task for the client. So I'll do that. I'll hit send. A bunch of really good things happen when that happens. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my phone. And this is my phone in real time. So your client will get a message from you right to their cell phone. Super easy. They'll also be able to log in and see everything online. So this is the client experience. You see Christine down here. Okay. So she has inbox 1, not inbox 4,000, right?
Did you look in my email just now?
I may have spilled the beans there, Carrie.
I might have looked at mine. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm terrible too. I got
120. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, so you now have a private channel, right? So they come here, they're not distracted. No clients, no coworkers. It's just you and them. And it's also in network. So there's no spam here. There's no Nigerian prince. There's no, you can start to feel good about that. So then you also obviously have tasks too. So there's a welcome message from me, and then there's a please send QBB file. If I click on that, they can come in here, take a quick look, create the task. So if a client ever said, hey, you never asked me, say, of course I did. There's an audit trail here.
I like that even better.
Yep. On it now. Okay. So you can go ahead and quickly comment back to you. It again goes all into the audit trail string here. And when she's ready to attach a file, all she needs to do is drag and drop the file. I'll click on browse. I'm just going to grab a file here. This is my QB sample file. This can be up to 5 gigs. So we've never seen a QBB file greater than 2 or even 2, but that's it. Just go ahead and do that. Upload. That's all she needs to do.
And that's just for a per file limitation. It's not like a total limit on the storage.
That's right. You get unlimited storage with us. So don't worry about storage at all. It's just 5 gigs per file. We don't want anybody running the next MTV off of our servers, right? So you're probably pretty big.
Where they actually play music?
If those crazy kids, those TikToks or whatever, I don't know.
You got to watch out. They take over.
Right. Yeah, that's it. So she puts that there, and then I'm going to move back over here. But what you're going to see is she'll go ahead, send that file up to us. And then we, on our side, are going to get, let me go ahead here. Oh, it's actually already popped in here. Please send QBB file. It's now a task for me on my side. So she gave us the file, which means she's passed the ball over the net. And we're
our turn.
Notified. Yep. So there it is. So there's the comment she made. There's the file. She marked it for us to review. We would click on the file, make sure it's what we need. It's what we need. We hit mark complete, and we're done. Okay. So that's how we know. That's how we know exactly where everything is, because it's going to be tracked by person and by account. So if I were to go to her account saying, hey, where's that cleanup file? So we go to the City Lights cleanup, and anybody, Carrie, Dan, Alison, any of us could be looking at this saying, did we get that back from the client? We can see there's no open task. There's one in review. So we're reviewing it right now, but we know exactly where it is, and any of us can see the audit trail. Okay.
And the Nigerian prince can't get it out of my email, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, no scamming.
No,
no scamming. It's not like, so if the client gets something through Lisio, they know it's coming from you. Like nobody could spoof that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
What I really like about, the client interaction is that you have a variety of ways to communicate with them. You can send them a text, you can send them a notification and an email, but all of those are like Rome. It comes back to Lisio because it doesn't. They're not multiple ways to cast out, but only one way to get it back in.
That's right. That's right. You ready to throw another cast then?
Yeah.
Well, I like that tab called notes because I can already see how we could use that, Dan.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Wait, there's more.
There's more.
There's
Yes,
more.
and.
Because
Yes,
cleanup
and.
doesn't. Yeah, cleanup doesn't just involve electronic files, right?
That's right.
Cleanup involves a lot of paper. Right.
Oh, I love paper.
I know, but how does the client get paper to you? Right? Think
Ew.
about that currently. How do they do that? So now I'm going to stop talking because I don't want to steal Chris's thunder.
Yeah. Let's go to another and, right? So we
paper.
got the QBV file. So now we have a chance to size and scope the amount of work, right? We know what we might want to charge.
It's messy.
So, okay, great. So, hey, we're ready to get serious here. I want to create an engagement letter for this. I want to create a task. Super easy. I want to get a signature from for City Lights Cleanup, right? So let's do City Lights Cleanup there. It's for Christine. Document type is going to be an engagement letter. And then select the document. I'll just put a bookkeeping one here. We're going to charge $49.95 for this cleanup. It's pretty messy, okay? What will happen is we'll put everything together for City Lights Cleanup, Dear Christine. There's a firm logo. There's our engagement letter. We can edit this right here. We can go ahead and edit anything we want. And we'll see in the engagement letter we'll see the $49.95 I typed in. Ready to get to work. Okay. You can attach more files. Is there anything else you want? Let them know what's happening. I'll preview the task we're going to send. There it is. And if we like it, all you have to do is hit save document and create partner. I'll be the partner on it. Create the task. So that's it. We just created an engagement letter that quickly for a client. So you'll have a set of templates there. You can have as many templates as you'd like. You have a full library. And again, you can edit them if there's anything you want to change. So your client, of course, is going to get a notification. We're ready to sign the engagement letter with you. So this time, let's use the phone, shall we? So go ahead there. So logging in is super easy. We have a great mobile app. And I'm terrible with my thumbs at typing in passwords. My success rate is rather low, but I'm pretty good with Google, Microsoft, and my face. I can use any of those, right? So I'll use Google.
Well, you have to take the mask down, though.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's been the problem these days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Have you tried to? Oh, no, it wouldn't work, I guess. Take a photo.
You could do a photo with both, because at least you can see your eyes. So
there you go. But yeah, there it is. So we're back, right? We're back in Lisio. We have a new task for ourselves now, right? Review and sign engagement letter. I'm just going to tap on that. Ready to get to work. Review and sign. They can see everything right here.
Wow.
Okay. There's our $49.95. Right. Okay. There's our fees, etc. Super
Pinch and poke.
I agree.
Yeah, this beats doing it in Word, doesn't it? And then sending over an email, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then asking them to, to print it out, sign it, scan it, send it back, right? So a lot less steps.
We're building habits. That's the most important part. We're getting in the habit that everything goes here, right?
Yeah.
We can ask them for their bank account information too. So let's say we need to get bank account information for their bank reconciliations and so forth. So you like to clean up. What they can do is, instead of, and we give you a couple of different ways. They can securely message, obviously, in here. We also have a logins area where they can come in here and right from their mobile phone, they can say something like, well, I use Chase Bank and my account ID is whatever it might be. This is all going to get encrypted at the database level. Okay. My password for this is going to be, whatever my password is, I'll just type that in here. Okay. And this is a way to securely get you by account, all the account IDs and passwords. And again, we encrypt everything at database level. So this is an invitation only network, secure over the wire, and encrypted at rest.
So if the client fills this out, we don't see their bank stuff. We just get in like we need to. That's nice.
Yeah, you'll be able to copy these. You'll have their account ID and et cetera, and you'll just put it in your password chain.
But you're inside the safety zone.
Yeah, it's not a login directly to the bank, I don't think, though, is it, Chris? It's like a password vault, like a safe space to save those.
Exactly. There's no link to the outside world here. We're keeping everything encrypted just in our database. But they have security questions, that kind of thing too. We get all that information here. So if she has a security question, pet's name, right? She can go ahead and put in whatever it might be.
You're proving how bad your thumbs are.
I am awful. I'm awful. There it is.
He most of the time just does voice, he'll talk to the iPhone rather than typing.
I'll do that next, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you collect bank information. So now, can you text me your social or anything like that? That's all gone, right? We've completely wiped that out. And now you want to get something else signed. Let's say, you're getting ACH authorization signed. There's another and. I'll be pretty quick here. I'm going to go ahead and use another template to Christine. So you'll see the patterns are all the same. We're not jumping between a bunch of different software, right? If I want to get something signed like ACH auth form, this one's a little more complex. Please sign. I'm going to go ahead and grab a template. So we have another full template library here for ACH authorization, for example. Go to the template library, grab it. We'll show you what it's going to look like. So in this case, we'll have your firm logo again. And what's the bank name, branch, city, state? This is going to look really familiar to you all. Mm-hmm. What's your name on the account and so forth. It's all ready to go. If I want to change something, that field's too big or too small, I can move stuff around, resize, add radio buttons, drop downs, etc. It's fully robust. I'll go ahead and send that out. Obviously, that's going to come through again on the phone. So my watch just buzzed. I now have a new task, and that's to sign the ACH authorization form. I can click that, review and sign.
I love being able to see what the accountant is seeing and the client is seeing at the same time. Like it's really powerful, isn't it?
Yes, because they're different from your experience versus the client's experience.
And your client will be mostly on their phone. If you think about it, your client will be mostly on their phone. And that's what's so brilliant about this is that what Chris is doing here is he's actually signing and filling out an ACH form on his phone.
They can do it in seconds. Sitting in the dental chair, with the mask on. That's it, right?
Yeah, you could. Or Dan, you could be in your self-driving car.
Right.
Do it while you're in your self-driving car.
Who isn't working on the mobile phone and driving anymore? Yeah. So they do it. They wipe it out, right? So now we've actually been covering a lot, right? So we got large files, we got engagement letters signed, we collected secure information, we signed ACH authorization form. Requesting key documents is just as easy. We create a task for that. And then what will happen is, as we're creating these tasks, like you saw how we did that earlier, if I need something for a client, it'll go right in their task list. When it's in their task list, I showed you earlier how we have due dates. What you're going to love about this is you're going to have to hassle your client less. Okay. If they're behind, I didn't know I owed that. What's outstanding, all those kinds of questions. We're going to automatically send them every week a reminder. Everything overdue. Okay. These are all the things that this client has overdue, when it's due, how many days over it's due, and then what's due this week. so they have a digest of what they owe you. Compare that to how you're collecting a lot of things today. You probably have to go in there, remember somehow, and then go and create another email, which they might or might not read. Yeah.
I mean, my wife has a weekly task of just rewriting her task list. You know, like this would just it's a digest, right? Like just like what you said.
Digest, and we'll send this even to their mobile phone. Okay, so this gets you out of the business of chasing. If you're out of it, you can remind your clients of due dates just like this. We know from what we can see from our servers that clients are very responsive to this.
Yeah.
So what if they do have paper? Like, how do they get that to you? You know, like if they need to, in Allison's case, had to scan her green card or driver's license.
I did.
Right?
That was actually my moment of falling in love, totally falling in love with Liscio. Was not only was this a cool app and everything, but it was like I actually could send my most secure document to Chris like instantaneously. We were on video and I said, how am I going to get this to you? And he goes, aha, we have a way. And he invited me in as like I was the client, right? So anyways, he's going to show you something really, really cool, the integrated scanner, because it's just such a game changer. It's just like you just go, oh.
Right, because, you know, the guy that's out in the field, that is, you know, landscaper or, you know, their field service, you know, type of thing, how are they going to get, you know, oh, do I have to now have an errand that you've given me, not just a task, but an errand to get over to some place that has a scanner.
Yeah, like FedEx Kinko's or something, and you don't maybe, I don't know. It's like if you don't have a scanner in your house, what do you do, right?
Like how thoughtless
of you. Here you go.
They're giving me a gift card. Oh, you.
They can send
right, I've got an errand to do.
Yeah, thank you for the errand. Yeah.
It's true. Remember the shoebox? We're way past that now, aren't we? So I'll use my voice here. I am literally all thumbs. Using the scanner, period. So they go ahead, you know, if they want to get you something, all they need to do is they can tell you, if they don't have to even do that, they just hit add attach, hit scan document. And then here's my desk and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and just hover with one hand over. Pretty lazy, but we are going to make it look great. Okay. Rotate, crop, focus, the whole thing. And we turn it to a PDF too. Okay. So
it's not a picture. It's not a picture of the document. It's an actual usable PDF.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So they'll do that, shoot it back to us. It's literally that easy. It's like a landscaper. Literally in the truck, they can take a picture of latest invoices or whatever it might be, and it's going to come flying back to us at light speed. Here's going to be that document, and it's going to look absolutely positively fabulous. So PDF, and how about that? The laziest photo I could have taken at a crazy angle, and it looks great.
Love it.
It's great. So that's it. And then if you want to send them stuff, if we want to send them things, if we want to make things easy for them too, when we're done, I can send them a management report from QuickBooks. I'm in our QuickBooks account right now. Okay. All I'm going to do is I'm going to print this out. I want this to go straight to the client. So I want to print this. I only need the first page in this case. So I just do that, hit save, and I can say monthly, or so I'll say December 2020, I'll say balance sheet. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I want to send that to the client. So I just do that. I saved it to a special folder called Liscio Dispatch. What'll happen is it's going to launch our product. We have a little listener that is going to go ahead and pull that file up directly. And you can already start to see it. December 2020 balance sheet. You can see that we have machine learning. So we picked up the year and the month and the fact that they're financials automatically. So we know there's a tag called financials where you can relate balance sheet to it. So it saves you a lot of clicks in terms of organizing files for your client for later, because later they're going to look up, hey, I want my 2020 financials, right? I can send this to Christine for the city lights cleanup work. and say, your books are good. You're all set. We just earned our keep. I send that to her.
Cleaned up their file in less than 20 minutes. Look at that.
Less than 20 minutes. We are good. We are done, right? And what you'll see here is I'll come back out here, and we're going to have a books are good, you're all set item. And there's her balance sheet ready for review.
Wow.
Much, much faster, totally secure. And of course, if she wants to find her files, we have them right in the same place, right on her phone. That's it. That's how you can clean up books, do everything totally securely in a single, we hope, much easier to use habit than what firms are doing today.
Yeah, so thank you, Chris and Alison, for joining us today on this workshop that you've just made quick work of of cleanup work. And I put in the Facebook comments a link, not just to Listio's main website, but also assessing. It's a quiz, right, Alison? It's a way to assess your own.
You'll be able to see by taking, it takes about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, depending on your internet speed, but you just go through a series of questions. It's just yes or no. And then at the end, you get a really frank report of your areas of strength and then your areas where you might have some hot spots. And so then if you want to, you can go a little further and you get directed to a resource page with a whole pile of other things in it. So it's a really great experience. We're getting a lot of good feedback on that. And then we also had, I don't know if you put the webinar series in there as well. We've started we've designated 2021 as the year of the client. And we just love that campaign because as sort of an overarching campaign, because it's all about, as Chris said earlier, if you make it easy for your client to give you what you need, they will give you what you need. They'll be happy doing it, and you'll get more work done. You'll just get a lot faster, and yeah, you can just move faster.
And what were you saying before about like the average speed of?
Oh yeah, we've got some great stats. We've got some great stats. So we know from the data that Chris and the team have been able to compile, because we literally we crossed over well over 100,000 users in December. 3 million documents, I think, have been exchanged so far on the platform. And we're finding that it's 19 times faster than email. So that's the first thing. The response time is much faster. And then the second thing is, if you use the integrated text messaging feature, the median response time from your client is only 6 minutes. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
It's pretty fast, right?
Because I remember when I would work at Intuit, and accountants would call me and you're going to need to talk to your client about this. Mm-hmm. It was like I was asking them to give over their firstborn. Like, I can't talk to my client.
They knew that their clients were busy. That's the thing. That's the thing. If you walk in your client's shoes, that Chris and the team did when they first envisioned this product, which is a new category of app. There really isn't anything out there that's doing this in the way that we're doing it with the integrated features that we have. It was all about, what are you really asking your client to do when you send them an email? And you think about it, 85% of emails in 2019, I don't have the 2020 stat yet, but 85% of emails in 2019 were opened on your phone, but only 25% of emails overall were opened. So you're using a method to communicate with your client that, first of all, up to 75% of your clients are going to ignore. And if they do open it, they're opening it on their phone. Now, why is it a problem if they're opening it on their phone? Because they literally cannot respond. They cannot send you what you want, what you need, because they're out in the field. So Listio bridges that. They're like, they can answer. They can send you what they need, what you need. Right? And you can do it in this delightful way. And I'm telling you, I was like, I wish we'd had the foresight to take that picture of me going,
the light bulb moment.
Right? I still can't even, I get goosebumps. It was so awesome, because I was like, that was so
that's an added
easy.
Feature of the the goosebump feature.
The goosebump feature. There you go. And then we have some clients, we have some accountants and bookkeepers who are using predominantly Liscio for cleanup work, and they just love it. And the reason they because they can move so fast, and secondly, they can also invite in the other accountants or bankers or other people that might be involved, right? You can safely invite them in. So my advice would be, if someone is thinking about this and they're going to be doing a lot of cleanup, and a lot of bookkeepers are, because they work with CPAs, this is a great way to very affordably dip your toes into offering your clients a much better experience. If you don't want to move all your clients over right now, fine, just use it for cleanup for the next few months, and then roll your clients onto it.
Yeah, I think when we first started talking to you, Carrie was like, I spend this for this, I spend this for this. I'm already paying for Liscio, and then some.
In other ways, yeah.
In other ways, so here I can have a consolidated
puzzle pieces that aren't necessarily secure too. So,
and we don't make you change your tax program or your accounting system.
Yeah.
We don't care if you work with desktop or online or QuickBooks or QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Enterprise. We don't care. We're completely agnostic platform wise.
So just take a look at your apps and see where some of them are crossing over. You can eliminate some and then corral them in to this secure site. It sounds like
most firms save money. I mean, I'd be surprised. Most firms will save money with us right off the bat, much less all the time. It tends to be.
Well, the time is the problem too. I mean, even if you have the money for hundreds of apps, getting them to work for you instead of against you is the key.
Yeah, we think you saw some little pieces in there. We work in concert. We're accountants. We only really work with the accounting community. Every little thing, I think you saw when we pushed that file over from QuickBooks to us, we automatically took the steps out of picking the year, the tag, and the month. And you think about how much time is spent just organizing things, and how even inside a firm, people will do things a little bit differently, right? So if we can just go ahead and make things a little more consistent, you'll find it more quickly later. But how many clicks is it to go down the file tree or create the new folders?
It's lots of clicks. And when you put something in the wrong folder, it's pain and suffering later on. Yeah.
So we're doing it for you and for your clients, right? Same thing, same time. And so anyway, it's the little details that we think if you're trying to patch everything together, obviously a lot more logins, a lot more risk, a lot more juggling, but you can't actually do things as cleanly as if you can have a system that really understands you and your business really well. And our goal this year is to save everybody in the accounting profession using us a day a week by taking all these little hassles out. Reminders.
And by not waiting for client documents. Well, and think about it, by not waiting for client documents. So if you have your client documents all in one place and you can just do your work, think how much faster you will be. So that's part of it as well. Is yes, we're saving time on the clicks. Yes, we're saving time on sending the documents. Yes, we're saving time on getting quick answers and things. But the main savings is going to be you are going to have all of your client stuff when you need it.
Right. It's a as the crow flies app as opposed to driving through traffic.
There you go. And stopping at different stores on the way to see if they have it. Right?
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah.
Well, we were a little squirreled a little bit. We went over our time, but I think our time was well spent today. So again, Chris and Alison, thank you for joining us today. And we will see you next week or next time on the Workshop Wednesday.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, everybody. This was fun.
Appreciate everybody.